Thanks, guys, for joining. We've had some of you guys join. Thank you very much for joining another webinar. This webinar is about LinkedIn and how to leverage podcasts for the LinkedIn. Now, you guys are obviously seeing this beautiful image here. This is for the event that we have, and we can't wait for you guys to come in. We can't wait for you guys to really take the tools and the strategies here so you can apply it to your business. Because, guys, in the B2B space, there's never been a greater time to be on LinkedIn. There's never been a greater time to be on LinkedIn. So that's why it's incredibly important that you guys are here. It's incredibly important that you guys are listening. I just want to make sure we're on LinkedIn Live for our audience. Let's double check that. Hi, LinkedIn guys. Just thanks for joining. You guys can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, you guys can see my screen. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, leveraging LinkedIn and how to be able to use it in a powerful way. Now, we've had a lot of your questions coming during the week. So, this is actually going to be a Q&A, and we're going to get straight into the questions that you guys are asking, how to leverage a podcast and the power of a podcast to use for LinkedIn, because we're on LinkedIn because it's the number one business platform in the world. It's the number one business platform in the world. So, in the B2B, LinkedIn is your home. It is your home. It is where you have to be. It is where you have to live. It is where you have to use the resources we have. Guys, there's never been a greater time to have a business. There's never been a greater time to have a business right now. The social media, people are getting confused with social media. And like, it's like, oh, I spoke to someone today, like, oh, we're using word of mouth referrals. We're not so much on social media. But I always say, social media is about trust. It's about having trust at scale. You want to get people to trust you. That's what business is all about. You guys all have solutions that you're providing in the marketplace. Well, you just need more people to trust you because business is all about trust. They only come to you because they trust you, they know you, they like you. And that's what this is for. You can leverage a podcast in a way that helps you get the content. So, quick story. This is a little bit about me. Obviously, I've been in personal branding for quite a while now, and I started again documenting my life. I turned the camera on my life one day, and I never looked back. I started to get on the podcast with my mum and my dad and talk about life, talk about things that are happening, in the world, how they grew up, what stories they went through, like just powerful things, right? And what we realized when we built the podcast, marketing, guys, is all about storytelling, right? Storytelling is something that has been used to entertain people from the dawn of time. Everything is based around stories, right? Before they had television, before there was anything of TV, people would tell stories to entertain, to engage. You guys know it. You're sitting on the couch, you're talking with your family, things. What comes up is more stories. That's what captures people. So, obviously being a CEO, and being able to capture attention using YouTube, and being able to build that trust. Now, I wasn't on LinkedIn when I started my business. Well, yeah, I wasn't on LinkedIn as much because I always saw LinkedIn as a place, as a professional platform. I always saw it as a place where people go and they go to just get jobs, or they go in to go put in their resume. But LinkedIn is more than that. It's more deeper than that. It's a where you have your audience in front of you. It's where you can have your audience there to learn more about what you do, right? So that's really, really how it got going. I saw a video from Gary Vee. For those of you guys who know Gary Vee, well, let's even go now. And this is like a real live example of exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry, let me just minimize this. LinkedIn, let me show you. So Gary Vee, let's go here. Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk, he's the CEO of VaynerMedia. You can see here he has over 5 million followers on LinkedIn. To be honest, I thought he had more than that. He has 5 million followers on LinkedIn. He's been doing this for decades, decades. And he was saying if you post on LinkedIn straight for 9 months, you will change your life because social media has changed. And let me show you this point. We'll skip here. Social media right now is about interests. It's about what people are interested in. So if people are on LinkedIn right now and they're in B2B and they're your customers, they're going to look for things that they're interested in. I'll give you a quick example. in our business, we've been working on our sales. We've been working on, okay, how can we still, as much as we have social media presence, as much as we do so much personal branding, we need to continue to have better systems around it. And part of that system is calling people. Part of that system is getting on the phone, speaking to people, and really having that voice and being able to inspire people through the phone. Then we book in meetings and then we have a whole sales process. And this is why this is a great example, because when we cold call someone, yeah, they may not know who we are, but we'll call them, have a chat to them. Once they get off the phone, what are they going to do? Or we'll send them an email. They'll have a look at who we are. They're going to go and Google us. They're going to go and find out who we are. But because the marketing and as you guys have seen, us growing the podcast, these are our numbers, over 14 million views, 20 over 30,000 subscribers now. This number has actually even changed to over 4,000 videos. The trust now goes through the roof because it's like, wow, I spoke to him on the phone. I've checked him out on LinkedIn, checked out the company, checked them out on LinkedIn, who the CEO is, checked out the website, checked everything out. So the trust goes up because we have so much content. So we could get on the phone, we could call people, but then, yeah, they can go on our website, could have a great website as well. And then they can check the social media. And then if we're not posting, if we're inconsistent, like a lot of you business owners are, or a lot of you business owners don't have a much presence, that sometimes could be the difference because you look and it's like, can I really trust them? Yeah, the website's great, it's okay, but the social media presence just gives it that ultimate factor. It gives it that ultimate layer because people want to consume your content. I always say social media is about educating your audience. You need to educate your audience. Why am I doing this webinar? Why am I doing this webinar? I don't care if people come to buy from us or not. It is about educating the audience. Another great part for me is we can use this now as content. People after this webinar can go in and they'll be able to watch this webinar. They'll be able to come in and be educated and learn about social media, learn about, oh, wow, that's actually true. If I can just do this and this and this, I can grow my business because this is all about growth. So now I've just played a part in educating you. And then they can get to a point where, you know what, we like, instead of us doing this ourselves, the people who educated us, the company who's doing this for people, I can trust them. You're going to become front of mind. Someone not might not buy from you today. They might not buy from you tomorrow. They could buy from you 2 to 3 years from now. Why do they buy from you? Because you've educated them so much. Not only that, they're used to seeing you that you're front of mind. You got to be front of mind. You always got to be there. You got to be there. You got to be front of mind to people. And that's what marketing is about. And so LinkedIn is a place that allows you to do that. You can be front of mind in front of your audience. So let's give an example, right? Let's give an example here. If we go here on Gary Vaynerchuk's LinkedIn, which is a big CEO, this is the blueprint here. You're going to see so much content, right? You're going to see, like you said, continue to post. Why is he doing this? Why? Why? Is he just doing this to do this? No, because he understands that I need to be front of mind. He has a company, Vayner Media, right? That's his company. So we need to continue to grow the valuation of our company. We need to continue to be there. So as the CEO, people, the Fortune 500 companies who go and pay them retainers, pay them to advertise, they're the ones who are coming on social media. They're the ones who are coming on LinkedIn. So if they keep seeing him, the CEO, they say, we want to be a part of that. We need that company. They go to now his company. But it's the personal brand that attracts people, right? Again, you don't need to make a personal brand. You don't need to have a personal brand. You don't need it. But if you want to take advantage of the huge opportunities that are alive in business, this is exactly what you need to do. This is the game. So many of you guys who are watching this, so many of you guys who have been asking questions, if I go to your profile, it does not look like this. You don't have barely any content. It's there. I get it. You don't have time and you're extremely busy, but you get to a point where you don't have a choice, right? This is a great example. What's he doing here? Are you building your social media presence? Here are 4 ways to win in 2005. Put in the time and work. I believe in you. Here he is. Let's actually have a look at this video together.
Shopping. I could not push you more to get serious about affiliate and live selling. If there's any way you can get into that with what you do, you should. Like if you're a magician, create some deck of cards and sell that on like it is a big thing that you should start learning. The other by far biggest mistake most of you are making is you're not on enough platforms. It's crazy. This whole like just locked into TikTok, Instagram thing is killing people. Like Facebook's a monster. Most of you don't post there every day. It's 100% that someone who does something.
So that's just a little quick example. But what's he doing there? Look, I'll tell you what he's doing. He's documenting it. He's got the camera there recording, and he's just doing what he's doing. He's operating. He's not going out and, oh, I'm on social media. He's just operating his business. He's having a talk, whether that's staff, whether that's a training, whether that's employees, whoever he's talking to. He's just documenting it, having a camera there recorded as he's talking, as he's being his authentic self, being passionate about what he's doing, educating people. What are 4 ways to win on social media in 2025? So he knows the companies that come to buy from his company, the big corporate companies. He knows them. He knows their problems. He knows what they're doing and the mistakes they're making. So he can now address them in a way where he's still educating people who may not even buy from him, but he's building a community. He's building people. So the people who do buy from him, when they come, they're consistently educated and understanding him. And they know, yes, we need to do that. We need to be on every single platform. Well, we don't have the wherewithal to do it. We're busy running our business. We can now come to VaynerMedia. We can now come to his company. This is what it's about. This is LinkedIn. This is how he generates revenue through LinkedIn. This is how he generates a personal brand, right? Which benefits the company, because people always wonder, should I build the company brand or the personal brand? We always say, build the personal brand. Still have the company brand growing. Still build, you want to sell your company eventually, right? And the company doesn't need to be attached to the personal brand. But when you have the personal brand and you have a company presence, it's extremely powerful, because your personal brand, whatever you go and do, whether you want to go and start another business, you already have an audience. You already have people who know, like, and trust you. But your company still has, and you're able to have content for the company, and there's the story, and there's a mission, and there's a vision there that's connected. It builds up the valuation anyway. So you can sell the business, because the business, for you to sell a great business, it doesn't have to, it can't be attached to the founder, right? Because without the founder, then the business is useless, really. But if you're able to build such a powerful personal brand, that's going to have a huge impact on the company. It's going to generate more revenue for the company, and that is what, acquirers are looking for. They're looking for companies who have that presence. So this, guys, is extremely, extremely powerful to be on LinkedIn right now. If you are not posting on LinkedIn consistently, 20 times a day, 5 times a day, weekly, if you're not, you're missing out on so many opportunities. So we're going to show you how podcasting actually plays a part in that. So someone's actually asked, one of the questions that we had through YouTube and through our email is, can a podcast really help me get clients on LinkedIn? And the answer to that is yes, of course it can. So how does a podcast help you get clients? So what is a podcast? A podcast is, actually really audio, the audio presence of a conversation that people have, that you can have, where you're educating, you're talking about what you like, talking about what you know, what's in your expertise, and now you're publishing that on social platforms. So this is what a podcast looks like, right? You have an audio experience, or now it's a lot of video. So we post all of our podcast videos on all of these platforms. People can still listen to it on audio and listen to you, listen to whatever it is, the solutions you have. Because most likely, if you have a podcast, most times it's about your business, or it's around your business. Us, for example, we have the Rubasha Family podcast, right? Which is not necessarily all about business. We talk about family. We talk about, topics that are happening in life. It's not even all about business. And that's generated quite a lot of views and a lot of attention. But still, and we still have a lot of business conversations in there. But still, we can leverage that. We can leverage that content and still pop it on places like LinkedIn. Imagine, for example, in my space, a lot of B2B owners, we post a lot of business content, but then we'll post a video from the podcast, which we extract clips, which I'll show you over here. Kind of like this. So you have a whole podcast. Let's say this is a keynote speaking, but let's say it's a whole podcast that's worth 2 hours, right? We can now go in and take small clips from that podcast, from that conversation, similar to what he's doing here. This is one, maybe this conversation, this could be turned into a podcast, but this video is, maybe it's 10 minutes, but then he can go and take 1 minute and 34, take that out from the long form content from the podcast per se, take that where he's giving value, he's educating his audience, take that and now pop it on LinkedIn. So they're not going to get a whole podcast conversation, but they're getting one minute when someone's scrolling through their feed on lunch board, a business owner who's wanting to improve, who wants to get better, who's interested in growing on social media. that person now sees this, and then it generates that awareness. And when you generate that awareness consistently over time, that's how people start to trust you more, and that's how you can go and get clients. You can go in, let's say, if this is my piece of content, I can go and send this. Let's say we have our team, we can go and send this to particular people, right? Maybe we look on people on LinkedIn who need our services. We can go send this to them and say, hey, we believe this is a powerful way for you to grow your business. Here are 4 ways you can win on social media. So I'm leveraging that podcast clip. I've posted on LinkedIn. Now, not only can someone see it on the feed, but now we can send it to people, say, hey, we think you'll get a lot of value out of this video. If you want to have a chat, let's have a chat. We can book in a meeting. Someone, if this really resonates with someone and you're appealing to their pain points and you've educated them well, they'll do their due diligence. They'll go on on your profile, and then that's how it opens it up for them to do business with you. Another way a podcast can help get clients on LinkedIn, I always say to people, you don't need to go to ask for a sale. You don't need to go and ask for a sale, right? People on LinkedIn are so used to everyone just selling to them. I'm sure of you, a lot of you who are watching this and listening to this, you get a thousand messages on LinkedIn, people just pitching to you anyhow, anywhere. You just look at it. I get it all the time. Probably have one now in my message I can show you. Maybe I don't want to embarrass that person, but it's just a pitch. They don't even know me. They just pitch to me. What am I going to do? I open it. I'll see I just see they're selling to me straight away, and I get off. Let's say, imagine if someone messaged me, went on LinkedIn and said, hey, Sugira, I really love your profile. I really love what you're doing. I would love to have you on my podcast. Right. You're already running your business. You've already got a system. You've already got things that are in your business that you're growing. You're doing that. Now you can say, look, if I've invested into a podcast, I can use my podcast not only to raise awareness, not only to educate people, not only to show the passion in who I am and what I do, but I can now use that podcast to be able to, which I'm about to show you here. You can say, Sujira, I'd love to have you on my podcast. Then I'll be like, if I see a message like that, like everyone will, most CEOs, most other people, if I see a message like that, I would say, yeah, sure, I'd love to be on your podcast because I want to grow my brand. I want to talk about what it is I do, right? Then I go into that person's podcast. I have a 30, 40-minute conversation with that person, and it's their business. So, it may be a kind of similar around what they do. And then, we're having a conversation, and I could be like, I like this person. I've built trust. They have a podcast. They're marketing me. The law of reciprocity always comes around. And I say, you know what? Whatever this person does, like, I need this in my business. Like, yeah, I have been lacking on, having a lawyer, for example, if it's a law firm who want me on their podcast. Yes, we've been lacking with maybe our law, things, or you've educated me within the podcast, even though I'm telling my story in a way. And I've built that relationship with you. Now, because we're getting on the podcast together, we've taken each other's emails, we've taken that contact. Now, when I need your problem, you say, you know what? Yes, I'll go to them because I was on your podcast. I know them. I liked it. I love the way they produce it. And I actually need their service. And that's a small example of how you can leverage your podcast to help you get clients on LinkedIn, to help you see a return on investment. Another way that helps is, again, if you're doing sales, which most of you guys are, you're reaching out to people, however that is, they're going to see you on LinkedIn, and then they see you have a podcast, and then you see you have quite a lot of content. What's going to happen is straight away in their mind, they're going to see you as an authority figure. Do you know how many people respond to us? Do you know how many people talk to us? Do you know how many meetings we get? Do you know how many leads that we generate because we have a podcast? Because straight away we're seen as an authority figure. So that's why that's incredibly powerful. So the next question is, what if I don't have a big audience? Is it still worth starting a podcast? Yes, yes, yes. Because I just explained in this graph here, it doesn't matter about your audience size anymore. It really does not matter. I don't know if because he posts so much content, let's see. Let's have a look. I think that was a pretty good piece of content, but I'm not sure if. Oh, I actually posted it the other day. Let's go through my LinkedIn and I'll show you guys. This is quite powerful. Guys, this is information that's going to benefit you in ways you could not believe if you just really keep an open mind. If you can keep an open mind, I don't know why. Hopefully that's playing on LinkedIn. But let's have a look here. If we go on mine, I posted the other day. Let's have a look at this. You can see how much content I'm posting. Look how much content I'm posting. It doesn't matter if you don't have. I told you I started on LinkedIn with 0 people. And I was able to grow it quite significantly. So it doesn't matter about your audience. It doesn't matter if you don't have that many people, because now it's all about social graph. People are interested in what they're looking for. They're interested in what they're looking to find. So you can start an audience out of nothing. Here, this is it.
We knew it is no longer here. I think we're in the era of interest. I would say
And I want you to look at this again. We're in the era of interest media. So again, that doesn't matter if you don't have a big audience. It doesn't matter if you don't have 100,000 people. It doesn't matter because people are finding what they're interested in. Have a look at this video.
that social media as we knew it is no longer here. I think we're in the era of interest media. The algorithms now work that content that you're interested in comes to you, not necessarily who you decided to follow. All my followers that I've amassed for 15 years are becoming less important. People that are watching right now that have never posted, if they post a remarkably good piece of content, that piece of content now has the ability to get more views than something I post, and I'm one of the most followed people on LinkedIn in the world. I actually believe the word social media might have to get tweaked. I believe we are now in the interest media era, not social media, but interest media. Meaning social was inherently like, who is your social network? Who are your friends? We are now in an era where what are you interested is coming to you from the algorithm. That is profound.
So that's what this is important. It doesn't matter about that. Okay. So I really want you to understand that. Again, it's all about you interested in. So let's give an example, right? You're a lawyer and you're looking, let's say you're in migration law, which is we have clients, a lot of clients in migration law. You want to be able to grow your law firm. And let's say you don't have a big following, but now you say, okay, cool. How can we educate our customers? How can we educate our customers about what's happening in the law space, how to get a visa in Australia, what do you do if you get pulled over on the street? What needs to happen, right? Now, people who are, they may not even necessarily be interested in it, but people who are looking for that type of information, they're going to find you. And when you keep educating them, you're going to win. So let's have a look at the next question that we have here. This is a great question. Is it better to focus on LinkedIn or a podcast first? So they said, I can't do both at once. Is it better to focus on LinkedIn or a podcast first? And so you're here because you're wanting to learn how you can use a podcast to generate on LinkedIn because your business lives on LinkedIn because you're in the B2B space, right? So you don't have to do both at once. And that's why we live in a technological area. And this is what I want to show you, right? Once you have the podcast, which is your pillar content, and when we say pillar content, this is your pillar content. This, for example, is a podcast episode that you could watch here, right? This is it. You can see here. And again, we always like to say to people, you want to think of your business and when you think of a podcast, you want to think of it like a show. When you watch TV, there's a show, right? Like you go in and they have a show. So you want to think if we're in the tech field and we're teaching tech solutions to the world, you can build up a tech show and bring all the best people in tech to come on your show. And that is what you leverage. That is what you leverage. That is the power. That's where it lies. And so you need to utilize that and say, how can we build up a show? So instead of, oh, can we do, no, you do that. You have your main podcast. And then from that podcast, you can go and get content from there to be able to use. So I hope that makes it clear, and I hope you're able to understand how that works because it's life changing, right? And that is what you leverage. Let's have a look here. Okay, cool. Yes, we are live on LinkedIn. Thanks, guys, for joining. We had a little bit of trouble issues there, but we are now back. Okay, let's have a look at the next question that we have here. How do you get people to take you serious as a thought leader on LinkedIn? Now, that's a great question. That's actually a great question. Some people might think of that as a simple question, but don't be ashamed of that. How do you get people to take you seriously as a thought leader on LinkedIn? The way you do that, because that's actually, some of you guys are even starting your business, right? Some of you who are watching this, most of our clientele are CEOs who already started, but this applies to everyone, right? Because what's going to happen now is, when you post content, which relates to the podcast, when you're consistently posting content on LinkedIn, that makes you an authority figure straight away. It honestly does. That makes you an authority figure straight away because it's just a trust factor. If I come on your profile and I can see a bunch of content, again, let's have a look at that, right? Or if we go on, or if we're even on my my page here, you'll be able to see me as an authority figure because of how much content I post. I've had so many people straight away, they take me absolutely serious because when they come on the profile, they just see so much content. So by you posting consistently, I actually like this video. Let me show you guys this because I think this is going to relate to a lot of you guys, and especially when it comes to word of mouth referrals.
It wasn't direct. Started creating content, and my content wasn't direct sales. My content was talking about what I know, what I value, what I'm about, stories about me, my family, my background, sharing some knowledge, sharing what worked, what didn't work. And eventually they're like, wait a minute, who is this guy? Interesting. That brought a lot of leads, and it was an X factor. You don't do it for short term. That's purely for long term play. The moment I started creating content, it wasn't 1 year. I said, I'm going to create content for 2 years. And then after 2 years, I'm going 10 years. And that's exactly what we did. And then next thing you know, oh my God, I saw this. Oh, wow. Oh, let me share this. The clients that buy from you, when somebody asks, who is he or who is she? Now they can say, oh, here's the Instagram. Look what he said here. Look what she said here. You don't know behind closed doors what your customers are doing, but they're working for you because they're sharing the content of you speaking, and they follow you because now they're a customer of yours. That's the stuff that happens behind closed doors. But if you don't create content, they're not going to be able to work for you and share referrals with you while you're not doing anything.
Guys, a lot of you guys have built businesses through word of mouth referrals. A lot of you guys have built businesses through word of mouth referrals. You've scaled your business through word of mouth referrals because your customers, the people who love you, you've provided so much value for them that they're working for you. It's the law of reciprocity. They're giving back to you, right? So if you don't post content, you're not leveraging your word of mouth referrals as much as possible. Our clients right now, when they say they've done our podcast amazingly well, they've done our content, we love them. But you know what? Go and listen to their podcast. Here's their LinkedIn, here's their social accounts. Then those people go in and they can see so much, and then that puts us as authority figures straight away. So you don't know what your customers are saying about you behind closed doors, but when you now give them something, when you have that content, when you have a podcast, the people who don't know you or the people who have heard about you through a word of mouth referrals, they can now come to you and they see you, and straight away they see you as an authority figure. Straight away the trust comes in, and straight away that's how you guys can get clients on LinkedIn. That's how you can leverage it on LinkedIn. Guys, this is so powerful. I hope you're listening. I hope you're paying attention because it's life changing. And for those of you guys who are starting out, there's never been a better time to start out in business right now. There's never been a greater time. It's the best time to start. Why? Because we have media, we have social media that you can have direct access to your customers. So if you just start posting content, if you can build up a podcast, which we advise so many people to do, which is the future. So many of you guys listen to a podcast. Some of you guys are in the car, you're in the gym, you're going places, you're listening to a podcast, you're watching a podcast. It's what most, if you go on YouTube, most places, that's what most people are consuming. So if you're able to build up a podcast, whether you're a CEO, Fortune 500 CEO, or another CEO doing 1 million to 50 million from $0 to $100,000, if you can build up a podcast, you're giving a way for more people to trust you, okay? Um, uh, do I need to be on video for my podcast to work well on LinkedIn? Well, yes, it helps extremely well. This is actually another great question because a lot of people have just audio only podcasts, which, maybe it's a bit easier and it's more convenient for you. But I think there you're also missing out on so many more opportunities because people want to be able to go and watch you. They want to be able to go and consume your content. They want to be able to go and, learn a bit more. But the only reason why video is so powerful is because now when someone comes across your profile, they can go in and see so many videos. If they see videos, they can see you. It builds up the trust factor in an incredibly powerful way. So yes, I think video content is extremely powerful. Did we have any questions? I saw a question come in. Let's see. Okay, cool. Um, this is a great question. How do you stay consistent with podcasting when LinkedIn already takes so much time? Um, well, how do you stay consistent with podcasting? Well, that sometimes comes down to delegation. Whether you do this in-house or you outsource it like a lot of our clients do, that comes down to really good delegation. Because one thing is incredibly important is consistency. I always tell people, people trust consistency. The reason you go to McDonald's is because they're consistent. The reason you go to whoever you go to or whoever you like is because they're consistent. People don't take you serious as much if you're not consistent. So that's the most vital thing. But a podcast allows you to have a lot of consistency. For example, we have clients who take podcasting with us. they'll have a podcast with us once a month. But that once a month in a 30 to 40 to 50-minute conversation, because now there's so much content that we can take from that 50, 40-minute conversation, we can now say, okay, for this client, they're going to post on 3 times a week. And you can maintain that 3 times a week from that one podcast conversation for 2 to 3 months. Really, if you just got to really repurpose really well. I'll give you a quick story. I had one CEO client, and he's been doing what he's been doing for 11 years. Can you imagine 11 years going and you're passionate about what you do, you're teaching what you do, you're doing workshops, you're doing presentations in front of people, explaining wealth, explaining property, and explaining mortgage. So he was a CEO and he's done that. And he told me, he said, you know what, Sugira, this whole time I've been running a business, being a CEO, running my company, I never documented things within my business. I never had a camera there when I was talking to people. I never did. And I never did. I didn't have the ability to, right? This is so crazy. I didn't have the ability to, but since we started working together, I see it. I get it. I can not only watch myself, but now it happened. We always say if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. So now, and then and that's where the magic comes in, because now we host workshops. So if we're hosting a workshop and you're teaching in front of other people, and there's other people in the room and you're teaching there, and then now from that workshop, we're able to get those content clips, similar like what you just saw there with Gary Vee earlier when he's in a boardroom talking to people. Now we're able to get those clips, put on social media. What happens when they go on social media? People can consume it, people are learning, but people straight away in their mind, they see you as an authority because they can see you on video teaching other people how to do whatever it is you're doing, teaching that solution that they're searching for. Do you know how powerful that is? Did you guys just hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? You've done presentations. I'll give you another quick story. Oh, well, let me. I'd rather show you than tell you. Like they like to say, I'd rather show you than tell you. So yesterday, I go to my local networking, and this was even just a 40-second pitch. I go to my local networking group, and in my local networking group, we always have where we do a pitch. Most people who go networking, business owners who are often in B2B, they're serving other business owners, they'll go networking, they'll have a great time. Guess what? They never record themselves. They never record themselves doing what? Doing this, right?
You're in 2030, 5 years from now, and you're wondering, why didn't I take advantage of this opportunity?
You see?
Why didn't I take advantage of the opportunity to get
Now,
my voice
now
and my
this
brand?
straight away positions me as an authority. Everyone here did a 40-second pitch. Everyone here did it. Barely anyone recorded it. But now, because I've recorded it, now I can use that content. So I'm not just talking to people in this room in here. I'm talking to all these people on LinkedIn. So now all the people who are my audience, or all the people who come and view my profile, they're going to come in and see me in a room presenting full of other people talking. It was just a 40-second pitch. And that's the goal there, because if someone is looking for what I'm searching for, or if we go to sell to someone, they're going to come in, who is the CEO, even if they find our company page, because our company page posts, it doesn't necessarily need me in there. When they go and look at the company, they're going to find out who the CEO is, who's the visionary, who's the founder. Even on a recruitment basis, even when we're searching for people to come and work for us, this is what they see. And when they see this over a long period of time, the trust goes all the way up here. I'll give you another example, again, through YouTube. And this is why also YouTube comes into play, right? So social media, some videos playing here. I don't know why that's playing. Okay, so for example, here we go. Boom, here. And here I'm in a room. How to use social media to build your legacy. Again, we have a networking group. So many people come to this group and they do these presentations. The difference between me and them is I record my presentations. So again, you're seeing me in a room speaking and presenting in front of people how passionate I am and the solutions that we have. Another great way, and this is a live example of how we use it in our company. So if we're now reaching to people on LinkedIn, if we're reaching to our clients on LinkedIn or our prospects on LinkedIn, we reach out to them, we talk to them, we be in touch, then we get the email. Now, when we speak to them on email, we say, hey, this is what we do, this is who we are. If you want to learn more, here's a video that you can go in and watch. And then they can go in, come to here, watch a video of me presenting, talking about the value of social media, how it builds their legacy. And once that resonates with them, it brings it warm. A lot of people convert. I was speaking to a company, with a little bit of consulting, and they said we convert more customers who watch our YouTube videos before the sales meeting. We convert more. Why do they convert more? Because the customer's gone in, watched 10 minutes, 15 minutes of them educating them. They felt, again, I'm not just speaking to people in this room. The cameras are here recording me talking, but now I'm not just speaking to the people in this room. 2, 3 years later, again, when we're doing sales, this is getting sent out to customers. So look at this. This was 6 months ago. This content right now is still working for me as we speak. I did it then. I'm not creating that content again. And this content is working for me as we speak. As we speak. And that's why it's incredibly, incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. So now you're in an option where you don't have an option but to create content. Like this is the greatest era to be alive, and that's how you can leverage this. So again, we can use this 13-minute video and we can now pop it on LinkedIn. We can pop it on LinkedIn, and now people who are scrolling through LinkedIn, they don't need to be on YouTube. But guess what? They're gonna see me. And the more content we post, what also happens, and this is why it's very important for you that you're watching this video, because when you post more content on LinkedIn, which is where your home is, which is where your customers are learning more about you, what's going to happen is LinkedIn is going to keep pushing your content out to more people, pushing your content out to more people. It's going to keep pushing your content out to more people because LinkedIn, that's how they make money. They make money through people like us who are putting out content. Guys, this is how you grow your business. This is how you grow your business at scale. This is how you grow your business at scale. And there's never been a better time to do it. There's never been a better time to do it. So, I'll just give a quick example here. So that client I was telling you guys about who had barely any content, we got him, boom, we started posting content. He's a big CEO. He's a big CEO. But now we can now make him that bigger authority because his goal is, okay, I want keynote speaking. I want to be speaking in front of thousands, millions of people. I want to be a mentor. I want to stop working in my business. I want to work on my business. So his business is running, but because there's so much content, because we're posting so much content, that it builds that trust. People now book him for keynote speakings. Now we're doing workshops all over the world. And that is the game. Now we're posting content twice a day on his platform as a CEO. So it builds up the trust. It builds up the followers. It builds up the expertise. It garners your audience. It garners and attracts the people who need you because people love consistency. So that's why it's so valuable. LinkedIn B2B space, you have to post content. It positions you where you need to be. It positions you as that authority figure. So he went from someone with barely any content to now content twice a day, more followers, more people knowing about him. And through that content, people are being inspired. People are coming on. So even with the CEOs that we work with, it's about legacy. They want to inspire people, right? It's not about money anymore, right? My children can watch these videos. My family members can watch these and get inspired by me. The customers who come to me, they can get inspired by me. It brings a fulfillment. I see it in their eyes. So it's bigger than money. It's about legacy. It's about educating. It's about inspiring. We want to inspire, promote, educate, entertain. Right? So that's why this is so valuable. It's the greatest era to be alive in business. So we can't wait to host, we're going to be doing an event teaching this to people. Again, what are we doing? We're going to throw an event. This is what we're doing. We're throwing an event, teaching people in a room how to use social media. But guess what? We're going to have the cameras there in the background. So once we have the cameras in the background, after the event, the people who want at the event can go and watch that. And then the people who want to work with us, who need our services, they're going to watch that video, seeing me in a room speaking to thousands of people, to hundreds of people, and that's going to build up the trust. That's going to open more opportunities for keynote engagements, for people to come in and say, hey, Sugira, we want you to come and speak to our audience, our corporate company about what it is you do. And now I'm speaking, but now I'm speaking at scale. And once I'm speaking at scale, I have the cameras there. That comes into digital assets. That content goes out in the marketplace. We want to engage customers. We can send that content to them. They see me educating. They see it in the room. Wow, if all those people are listening to him, he must be of someone of importance, and they can watch it. Game over. And that is how you scale to the next level. A lot of you guys who don't post content consistently as a CEO, whoever you are, you're going to plateau. You're going to reach to a certain level, but the only way you can break here and get to the life of your dreams and save time to be able to do what you do is by creating content out of it, documenting that, and putting it out in the marketplace. Again, what happens when you do that at scale? Now you can get paid from YouTube. YouTube pays you to market yourself. How amazing is that? So it brings in another revenue stream. When you put out digital asset, it brings in another revenue stream. It puts in intellectual property around it. It separates you from your competitors. There's thousands of people who do what we do. There's thousands of people who do what we do. But because my voice is at scale, as I'm sleeping, my content is playing, is playing, is playing. People are going to come in and like it. They're going to come to me because they like me. And that's how we can charge our retainers much higher than the usual because we're the luxury, we're the brand, we are everywhere. And that's the game. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this presentation. I hope you guys could learn exactly what I'm saying to you and how valuable it is and how much this can help you. So yeah, guys, extremely powerful stuff. Make sure, so yes, we have more questions. Again, we are hosting an event. These are all for all the people who are in Sydney, who are in Australia. It's going to be in person, of course. So if you're not in Australia, if you're not in Sydney, it's going to be hard for you there. You're more than welcome to come and fly, and come and visit us. But yes, it's on the Tuesday, 8th of July, 2 p.m. to 6:30, and we're going to be teaching small business owners how to do this. And like I said, we're going to be recording it, and that content we'll be able to repurpose to continue to grow our name, and grow our brand. You guys can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn, so connect again. Feel free to message me if you have questions, and we can't wait to speak with you and get to know you more. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. And yeah, again, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want to learn more, you can head over to our website. We have a scorecard for people to take in a quiz so you can find out exactly, it's kind of like an audit, so you can find out where you are, what you can do to improve, and we'll take it from there.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.